Hello everyone, I welcome you all in this our virtual lecture. So our subject is financial management. We've already discussed about the sources of finance. There are two type of sources of finance, long-term sources and short-term sources. So we already discussed about the long-term sources, that is equity share, preference share, debenture, retained earning and term loan. Clear? So equity share, I just give brief view. We already discussed advantage and disadvantage. So equity share is known as owner's fund. Generally, on equity share, dividend is not compulsory. If company earning profit, then company have to pay dividend. If company suffer from loss, then there should be no any kind of responsibility or liability of the company to pay dividend. So dividend on equity share is not compulsory. So there should be no any kind of burden on the company when company issue the equity share. Then preference shares. Preference share is generally known as the hybrid security. Why? Because it possesses some characteristic of equity share and some characteristic of debenture. In preference share, generally dividend is fixed but not compulsory. Clear? Preference share holder have a preferential right, priority at the time of winding up. Generally, preference shareholder enjoy the preferential right in terms of dividend payment and in terms of principal amount payment. Company જ્યારે બંધ થાય, liquidation, winding up થાય, shutdown થાય, at that time company first have to pay debenture holder and preference shareholder, and if part of profit is remaining, then at last company have to pay equity shareholder. That's why making investment in equity share is considered as a riskier investment for the investor, and making investment in debenture is considered as a safe investment from the viewpoint of investor. Then debentures. So debenture is generally considered as a borrowed amount. Debenture holder are known as the creditors of the company, and equity shareholder is known as the owners of the company. So debenture holder generally on debenture, whenever company issue the debentures, at that time company have to pay compulsory fixed interest. There are various types of debenture: secured debenture, unsecured debenture. Clear? Then redeemable, irredeemable, convertible, non-convertible. So here is, we already discussed with advantage and disadvantage. Then retained earning means reserve, plowing backs of profit. Some part of profit company have to keep in business for the future expansion, future diversification, future modernization. So generally company's profit divided into two parts. Either company select the retained earning or company select the dividend payment. For example, if your retained earning ratio is 20%, it means your dividend payment ratio is 80%. Clear? Then term loan. So term loan means borrowed amount. So there is a contract or agreement between lenders and borrowers. Clear? If you have taken loan from bank, then you are considered as a borrower and bank will consider as a lender. So whenever you have a need of finance for expansion, modernization, replacement of machinery, at that time you have to take a loan or borrowed amount from the bank. In return, you have to pay timely interest or installment. Clear? Then these are the long-term sources we've already discussed. So here is, today we are going to start the short-term sources of finance. Short-term means maturity period is less than 1 year. Whenever company have a need of finance for less than 1 year, at that time company have to use this type of sources, which is also known as working capital. There are mainly two type of capital: fixed capital and working capital. Clear? So working capital means the day-to-day capital which is requiring business for fulfillment of day-to-day obligations of the company. કંપનીના day-to-day કેવા obligations હશે, liabilities હશે. So કે timely payment of interest to the debenture holder, timely payment of dividend to the equity shareholder, timely payment of tax to the government, timely and regularly pay wages and salary. Clear? Then timely purchase the raw material. For that, company have to holding minimum cash balance on hand. કંપની પાસે sufficient finance હોવું જ જોઈએ, minimum cash balance હોવી જ જોઈએ, otherwise it would adversely or negatively affect the reputation and credit worthiness of the company. Clear? So first one, sources of short term finance. Whenever company have a need of short term sources, short term એટલે for less than 1 year. જ્યારે કંપનીને 1 વર્ષ કરતા પણ ઓછું, ક્લિયર, એટલે એટલા સમય માટે જ્યારે કેપિટલની જરૂર હોય, at that time company have to use this type of sources. So first one, trade credit. Trade credit means credit purchase. Whenever company or businessman purchase goods from the supplier on credit basis. Clear? So immediately there should be no requirement of payment. કંપનીએ ઇમિડિયેટ કેશ પેમેન્ટ કરવાની જરૂર નહીં પડે જો કંપની રો મટીરિયલ છે, અધર ઇનપુટ્સ છે, કમ્પોનેન્ટ છે, આ બધું ક્રેડિટ બેઝ ઉપર પરચેસ કરશે સપ્લાયર પાસેથી. So at a time immediate cash payment is not required. So that should be considered as a relief for the company, short term finance for the company. So trade credit refers to credit granted to manufacturers and traders by the suppliers of raw material, finished good and components. So whenever company have a need of the raw material, finished goods, so આ બધી જેની જરૂર હોય બધું કેના બેઝ ઉપર પરચેસ કરવાનું? On the credit basis. So immediate cash payment is not required. So it is considered as one sources of finance. So this means the goods are delivered but payment are not made. Immediate cash payment is not made by the traders, clear, to the suppliers. So you have to purchase raw material on credit basis. So immediate cash payment is not required. So it is a short term finance for the company. Then second one is bank credit. Bank credit એટલે you have to take a loan, borrowed amount. Whenever you have a need of finance, requirement of money, at that time you have to take on borrowed money or loan from the bank. Clear? So first one, loan. So there are when certain amount is advanced by the bank, clear, which is repayable after specified period. So that is known as bank loan. So such advance is credited to separate loan account and borrowers has to pay the interest. Clear? So whenever you have to take a loan, borrowed amount from the bank, then there will be agreement or contract between two parties, that is lender and borrower. So borrower have to pay regular fixed interest to the lender. Then second one, cash credit. What do you mean by cash credit? Cash credit means here is cash credit is a arrangement whereby banks allows the borrowers to withdraw money up to specified limit. Clear? So generally cash credit limits sets by the bank. So it is facility provided to the borrower that they can withdraw money up to certain limits. જે borrowers હશે up to some limits સુધી money withdraw કરી શકશે. So it is advance. Clear? Advance money provided by the bank whenever company have a need for the money. Then overdraft facility. This type of facility is provided to only account holders or depositors. For example, there are current account holder, saving account, fixed account holder. So this facility is provided to current account holder that you can withdraw more money as compared to what amount, what balance in your account. તમારા એકાઉન્ટમાં જેટલી amount balance હશે એના કરતા પણ તમે વધુ ઓવરડ્રો વિથડ્રો કરી શકશો. ક્લિયર? એને શું કહેવાશે? ઓવરડ્રાફ્ટ ફેસિલિટી. So whenever company have a need of finance for expansion purpose, for modernization purpose, for installation of latest machinery, latest technology, at that time company use overdraft facility from the bank. Clear? And generally, for example, interest, how interest charge on overdraft? That interest is charged only on actually overdrawn money. Clear? For example, in your account there will be 20,000 rupees, but you have to requirement of 30,000 rupees. So 20,000 તો તમારા એકાઉન્ટમાં હતા જ, તો you have to pay interest only 10,000 rupees. Clear? તમે overdraw કેટલા કર્યા? Only 10,000. Already in your account there will be a balance, credit balance is 20,000, but you have to requirement of 30,000. So you have to need extra 10,000. So you have to pay only interest on 10,000 only. Clear? So it is bank credit. Then discounting of bills. This type of facility is also provided by the bank. So I explained this terminology, you already learned in F5. Discounting of bills. So it is process of the discounting of bills discounting, which is also known as bill discounting facility provided by the bank. Clear? So first one, in process, first step is when buyer place an order to seller to purchase the good on credit basis. One thing you have to keep in mind, buyer ને કેવી રીતના goods purchase કરવા છે on credit basis. Say for example credit period is 3 months. Clear? So goods is delivered but payment ક્યારે કરવાનું? After 3 months. Why? Because credit period is 3 months. So first step, buyer place an order to seller to purchase the goods on credit basis. Second step, seller is also agree to sell the goods on credit basis. Clear? First and second step, buyer and seller. Buyer place an order and seller is also agree to sell the goods on credit basis. Now third step, now sellers એ good કેવી રીતના સેલ કર્યું? ક્રેડિટ બેઝ ઉપર. So sellers cannot collect money from the buyer. Immediate cash payment is not received by the seller. Seller એ credit basis ઉપર સેલ કર્યું એટલે એને immediate cash payment ના મળે. Clear? So now what happened? Due to now meanwhile or emergency case, clear, seller have to requirement of money. So seller asked to the bank and represent the 10,000 bill amount. Seller in third step, seller bank ને કેટલાનું bill બતાવશે? 10,000. Now bank will charge 2% discount. Clear? Seller represent 10,000 bill amount to the bank. Now bank will charge 2% discount. Clear? So here is after deducting discount 10,000 na 2% means 200 rupees. So in fourth step, bank will pay 9,800 to the seller. Clear? Bank sellers ને કેટલું પે કરશે? Sellers bank ને કેટલાનું bill બતાવે છે? 10,000 rupees નું. એટલે bank 2% discount કે commission charge કરે છે. That will be considered as income for the bank. And after deducting discount of 2%, bank sellers ne કેટલું pay કરશે? 9,800. 10,000 ના 2% એટલે 9,800. 10,000 na 2% means 200 rupees. So after deducting 200 rupees from 10,000, bank will pay, in fourth step, bank will pay 9,800 to seller. Then here after maturity period, clear? Maturity period means 3 months. Credit period is 3 months. Clear? So after maturity period, bank will ask to the buyer to make the payment. After 3 months, bank will provide notice to the buyer that you have to make certain payments. So buyer have to pay full amount to the bank, that is 10,000. એટલે આખી પ્રોસેસમાં શું થશે? અલ્ટિમેટ બેનિફિટ કોને થશે? બેંકને. કારણ કે બેંક સેલરને કેટલું પે કરે છે? 9,800. અને આફ્ટર મેચ્યુરિટી પીરિયડ આફ્ટર 3 મંથ બેંક બાયર પાસેથી કેટલું ચાર્જ કરે છે? ફૂલ અમાઉન્ટ, ધેટ ઇઝ 10,000 rupees. So 200 that will be considered as a discount or commission from the bank. So this is the bill discounting process. So whenever sellers company have to immediate cash requirement, at that time bank also provide the bill discounting facility. Then customers advance, whenever company have a need of extra finance. Clear? At that time sometimes businessmen insist on their customer to make some advance payment. For example, if you have purchased expensive items, then you have to make certain advance payment. જે customer advance payment કરે, that will be considered as a working capital, cash on hand for the company. Clear? It is generally asked when the value of order is quite large, things order are very costly. Clear? For example, at the time of booking of car, booking of flats, તમે એપાર્ટમેન્ટમાં ફ્લેટ્સ પરચેસ કરો, કાર બુકિંગ કરાવો, at that time you have to pay certain advance amount. Clear? So તમે જે advance amount pay કરો એ કંપની માટે શું કહેવાશે? Cash on hand. Clear? Working capital, sources of working capital. So customers advance. Then fourth one, installment credit. So installment credit nowadays popular source of finance for consumer goods like television, refrigerator, as well as for industrial goods. So you might be aware about this system. Only small amount of money is paid at the time of delivery and balance is paid in terms of installment. Means કે તમે જ્યારે કોઈ પણ goods કે products purchase કરો, for example television, refrigerator, clear, other machineries, industrial goods, technology, At that time you have to pay small amount of money at the time of delivery. જ્યારે goods તમને મળે at the time of delivery તમારે you have to pay small amount of money, and remaining balance you have to pay in terms of different installments. Clear? Then loan from cooperative banks, so you have to generally you have to take on whenever you have a need of finance for expansion, for modernization. Clear? So at that time you have to take a loan from the cooperative banks. Generally cooperative banks works at the district level, local level, state level, so you have to take a loan or borrowed amount from the cooperative banks. Clear? So these are the short term sources of finance. Here is first one, you have to just remember credit purchase. Credit purchase means goods purchase on credit basis from the supplier or manufacturer. કંપનીને જ્યારે રો મટીરિયલ કે કમ્પોનેન્ટ્સ કે અધર ઇનપુટ્સની જરૂર હોય ત્યારે કંપનીએ કોના બેઝ ઉપર પરચેસ કરવાનું? ક્રેડિટ બેઝ ઉપર. સો ઇમિડિયેટ કેશ પેમેન્ટ ઇઝ નોટ રિક્વાયર્ડ. સેકન્ડ વન, બેંક ક્રેડિટ. Bank credit means bank nowadays also provide the short term loan, medium term loan, long term loan, cash credit facility, overdraft facility, discounting of this facility provided by the bank. Then customers advance means whenever company have a need of finance, at that time company have to receive advance money at the time of booking. Clear? તમે જ્યારે કાર બુક કરાવો, ફ્લેટ બુક કરાવો, at that time you have to pay certain amount in advance. Clear? So that will be considered as a working capital, cash on hand for the company or businessman. Then installment credit means at the time of delivery you have to pay small amount, and remaining balance you have to pay in terms of installment. Then loan, you have to take and borrowed money from the cooperative banks whenever you have a need of money for shorter period of time. Long term source means you have to requirement of money for more than 1 year, and short term means you have to requirement of money less than 1 year. Clear? Then our next topic, that is bridge finance. It is totally new topic. Clear? We have to complete one question, that is sources of finance. So there are two sources of finance, long term and short term sources of finance. Clear? First you have to draw chart long term sources and short term sources. Then according to mark you have to explain each and every points. So our next question, short note, next question, that is bridge finance. Clear? What do you mean by bridge finance? Bridge finance means bridge loan, short term loan. Bridging loan or bridging finance is a short term loan. Bridge finance શું છે? One kind of short term loan typically taken for shorter period. જ્યારે તમારે for example whenever person have a requirement of money for shorter period of time like 1 month, 2 month, 3 month, at that time person have to take a bridge loan which is known as short term loan. So it is shorter period between 2 weeks to 12 months with view to moving long term, with a view to moving to longer term financing or exit strategy. So bridging loans are generally used in property purchase, acquisition, when decision needs to be made quickly. Clear? Generally if you want to purchase new house, new property, at that time you have to take a short term loan, bridge loan from the bank. So bridge loan is a type of gap financing. Bridge means gap financing arrangement. Clear? Generally whenever your termination of one loan and start of the another loan. હવે તમે એક લોન લીધી હોય એ જે પૂરી થવા આવી હોય, ક્લિયર, ટર્મિનેશન, and start of the another loan. તમે ન્યૂ લોન માટે એપ્લાય કર્યું હોય તો there is always time gap between termination of the one loan and starting of the new loan. So to fulfill that gap, clear, person have to take a short term loan that is known as bridge loan. સિમ્પલ, જ્યારે તમારી એક લોન પૂરી થવા આવી હોય અને બીજી લોન માટે અપ્લાય કર્યું હોય તો there is always time gap. Clear? 10 days, 15 days, 1 month. So for that time period you have to take a short term loan which is known as bridge loan. Clear? Short term loan. So bridge loan is a type of gap financing arrangement. Clear? તમે for example if you have applied for loan like 2 lakh, 3 lakh rupees, large amount માટે તમે લોન લેવી હોય, તમારે લોન લેવી હોય, ક્લિયર, તો you cannot receive immediately. It will take a time, 10 days, 15 days. So for that time period, clear, you have to take a loan. So that's why it is known as gap financing, wherein borrower can get access to short-term loan for meeting short-term liquidity requirement. Liquidity means cash on hand. To maintain sufficient cash balance on hand, company have to requirement of short-term loan. Clear? So it is a bridge loan. One thing you have to keep in mind, bridge loan means short-term loan, usually 1 to 3 month loan, advance to cover the period. To cover means to gap. ક્લિયર કે કોના બે વચ્ચે ગેપ હશે, તો કે એક લોન પૂરી થતી હોય અને બીજી લોન સ્ટાર્ટ થવાની હોય. ક્લિયર? હવે એવું તો ના હોય કે આજે એક લોન પૂરી થઈને કાલે એક બીજી સ્ટાર્ટ થઈ જાય. there is always time gap like 10 days, 15 days. So for that time period you have to take a loan, clear, short term loan. So generally usually 1 to 3 month loan, advance to cover the period between. Here is one thing you have to keep in mind, termination of one loan. Termination એટલે end. Termination નો meaning શું થશે? End, cancel. Clear? Sorry, end. એક termination એટલે જ્યારે એક લોન પૂરી થવાની હોય. Ending, clear, ending. Ending of one loan and start of the another loan. So there is always one thing you have to keep in mind, there is always time gap between ending of the one loan and start of the another loan. So for that time period, company have to or person have to take a short term loan, which is known as bridge loan or gap financing. Clear? So it is arranged generally to complete purchase such as new house before the borrower receive payments from the sales of old house. So generally if you have sold your old house, clear, તમે old house sales કરી દીધું છે પણ એનું payment તમને નથી મળ્યું, clear, so and you have to purchase new house. Once example is one thing you have to concentrate, that is you have to sold old house, clear, but payment is not received yet, clear, so but you want to purchase new house. So you તમે જે ઓલ્ડ હાઉસ સેલ્સ કર્યું છે એનું પેમેન્ટ તમને આફ્ટર 15 ડેઝ પછી મળવાનું છે, ક્લિયર, અને તમારે ન્યૂ હાઉસ ઇમિડિયેટલી લેવું છે તો ફોર 15 days you have to take a short term loan or bridge loan, clear, and after 15 days you have to make payment to the bank. So before long term loan is made available, a fulfillment of its requirements such as commissioning of the facility or plant called bridge finance, bridge loan or gap financing. સિમ્પલ, તમે ફોર એક્ઝામ્પલ ઓલ્ડ હાઉસ સેલ્સ કર્યું હોય, ક્લિયર, હવે એનું પેમેન્ટ તમને કેટલા દિવસ પછી મળવાનું છે? તમારું ઓલ્ડ હાઉસ હતું એ તમે સેલ્સ કરી દીધું, ક્લિયર, એનું પેમેન્ટ તમને મળશે આફ્ટર 20 days. અને તમે ન્યૂ હાઉસ પરચેઝ કર્યું છે, ક્લિયર, એનું પેમેન્ટ તમારે ઇમિડિયેટલી કરવાનું છે, તો 20 તમને ઓલ્ડ હાઉસનું પેમેન્ટ ક્યારે મળશે? 20 days પછી, ક્લિયર. સો ફોર 20 days you have to take a loan, short term loan. એને કેવી લોન કહેવાશે? બ્રિજ લોન, બ્રિજ ફિનાન્સ or gap finance, clear. Why? Because you have to make immediate cash payment for the new house, clear. ઓલ્ડ હાઉસ નું પેમેન્ટ તમને 20 days પછી મળવાનું, પણ તમારે ન્યૂ હાઉસ નું પેમેન્ટ તો ઇમિડિયેટલી કરવાનું છે. સો there should be immediate cash requirement. ઇમિડિયેટ કેશ ની જરૂર પડશે ને, need of immediate finance, cash on hand. So you have to take a bridge loan. So bridge loan is a type of short term loan. So simple, you have to remember, bridge loan is one kind of short term loan or gap financing, clear, for 20 days, 1 month. So it is generally to fulfill the gap between termination of one loan and start of the another loan. Typically taken for 2 weeks to 3 years pending the arrangement. Then arrangement of larger term financing. So for example, તમે કોઈ ન્યૂ તમારી એક લોન એન્ડિંગ થતી હોય, ટર્મિનેશન થતું હોય અને ન્યૂ લોન માટે અપ્લાય કર્યું હોય, તો there will be a time gap, clear, of ending. There is always time gap between ending of one loan and starting of the another. So for that time gap you have to take a loan that is known as bridge loan or short term loan. So bridge loan is in the United Kingdom, UK, clear, also known as caveat loan and also known some application as a swing loan. So bridge loan is also known as gap financing, caveat loan, swing loan, short term loan. Clear? So advantage of bridging finance. So it is one short note. Generally, there will be a 7 mark short notes bridge finance. So here is bridge finance. Meaning is clear. Short term loan or to fulfill the gap between ending of one loan and starting of the new loan. For example, એક લોન એન્ડ થતી હોય ને બીજી લોન સ્ટાર્ટ થતી હોય, so there will be a time gap, for example 10 days. So 10 days માટે you have to requirement of cash on hand, so you have to take a loan, clear, which is known as bridge loan or short term loan. So advantage of bridge finance, one of the biggest advantage of bridging finance is that it's financed strictly over shorter period of time. So generally bridge loan, which is also known as gap financing, clear. For example, તમે old house sales કરી દીધું છે પણ એનું payment મળ્યું નથી, એનું payment તમને ક્યારે મળશે? After 20 days. પણ તમે જે new house purchase કર્યું છે એનું તમારે payment quickly કરવાનું છે. So that's why you have to take a loan for 20 days from the bank, which is known as bridge loan. So and second one, that is bridge loan, is that your credit profile can be improved. Credit profile means your reputation, your credit worthiness, your goodwill suddenly increase. Why? Because if you have taken short term loan, then you can make all your payments on timely and regularly. Clear? હવે તમે ન્યૂ હાઉસ પરચેસ કર્યું છે એનું પેમેન્ટ તમારે ઇમિડિયેટલી કરવાનું છે, ઓલ્ડ હાઉસ જે તમે સેલ્સ કર્યું છે એનું પેમેન્ટ મળ્યું નથી. Clear? અને if you have taken bridge loan, then you can able to immediate cash payment for the new house. Clear? So your credit profile, your reputation is increased. Then advantage of bridging loan is that it enables you to purchase a property quickly on cash basis. Clear? તમે bridge loan કે short term loan લ્યો 15 days માટે, 20 days માટે, so you can easily and quickly immediately purchase the any kind of house property and you can purchase on cash basis. Clear? Fourth one, that is bridge finance, is that bridging loan effectively makes you into cash buyer. Cash buyer એટલે કે તમે લોન લીધી હોય તો you can make immediate cash payment, which will also increase your profile, which will also increase your reputation, so which in turn again improve your negotiating power for your onwards purchase. Clear? So with the help of bridge loan or with the help of, you can say, bridge finance, clear, short term loan, you can easily and quickly purchase any kind of asset property on cash basis. Then disadvantage of the bridge finance. So here is first primary disadvantage of bridging finance is incredibly expensive. Why? Because you have to pay higher interest. Generally, for example, if you have taken borrowed money from the local money lenders, જે વ્યાજે પૈસા આપતા હોય એની પાસેથી તમે money લ્યો, so you have to pay just 1% interest or 1.5% interest per month. Clear? But here is on bridge finance, you have to pay high rate of interest, that is 2%, sometimes 2.5% interest. So there will be a higher rate of interest. That's why bridge finance is considered as a expensive finance. You have to pay higher interest. તમારે વ્યાજ વધુ આપવું પડે. Clear? Bridge loan લ્યો તો. Then second one, disadvantage of bridging loan is that large number of these end up in default due to excessive interest rate. Here is interest rate કેવો હશે? Excessive interest rate. Clear? Excessive interest rate means you have to pay generally large high rate of interest. Clear? High rate of interest you have to pay. So here is high rate of interest you have to pay, so it will be considered as a incredibly expensive for the borrowers. So you have to pay high rate of interest, excessive interest rate. So it is excessive rate of interest. That's why it is known as incredibly expensive. So generally there will be a chances to defaulter. Why defaulter means that if you have taken bridge loan means you are borrowers, clear. So there will be a chances due to high rate of interest. Some time you are not capable enough to pay interest. That's why there will be a chances of become defaulter, clear. So bridging lenders aren't flexible when it comes to late payment. Lenders, so whenever you have to take a loan from the bank, clear. So there will be a contract or agreement between two parties, that is lenders and borrowers. So sometimes, for example, તમે bank પાસેથી loan લીધી હોય તો bank શું કહેવાય lenders and you are considered as a borrower, clear. So sometimes bridging lender are not flexible when it comes to late payment. એટલે ક્યારેક તમે લોન લીધી હોય અને તમે એનું લેટ પેમેન્ટ કરો તો bridging lenders have to take strict actions against you. Sometimes you have to pay fine penalties, clear. So lenders typically charge larger fees, interest rate will be high, penalties when payment are late. તમે late payment કરો, clear. As a borrower, if you have taken bridge loan from the lenders or bank, then if you pay late payment, if you have to, your payments are less, clear, then you have to charge high fees, interest rate, penalties, fine, which result in borrower not being able to repay the loan. So sometimes bridging lenders are not flexible enough, clear. So here is if you pay your interest, clear, and if you become defaulter, if you pay late interest, તમે લેટ ઇન્ટરેસ્ટ પે કરો, લેટ પેમેન્ટ કરો તો લેન્ડર શું ચાર્જ કરશે, like penalties, clear, larger fees. So sometimes it is put difficult, it is create difficulties for the borrowers, which result consequently in the borrowers not being able to repay the loan. Then fourth one, for every month a bridge loan isn't repaid, this gathered compound interest. This means repayment will become substantially larger. For example, if borrower didn't make payment during the loan terms, clear. Generally, if borrower regularly payment नहीं करे, clear, then it will be create larger amount. So it will be considered as a gathered compound interest, clear. So it is generally create difficulties for the borrower. Sometimes borrower have to pay fine or penalties, clear. Then last one, if you default on the bridge loan, default if you means borrower, clear. Whenever you have taken loan, there is a contract between two parties, that is lenders and borrower. જે લોન આપે એને શું કહેવાય લેન્ડર્સ, અને જેને લોનની જરૂર હોય, need of finance, એને શું કહેવાશે borrower. So if you default on your bridge loan, if you means borrower, if borrower become defaulter, default નો meaning શું થાશે, તો કે if you have taken loan અને લોન ઉપર જો તમે ઇન્ટરેસ્ટ કે ઇન્સ્ટોલમેન્ટ ના પે કરી શકો તો એને શું કહેવાય defaulter. So if borrower become defaulter, then it will definitely affect your credit profile, will become adversely affected. Adversely એટલે negatively. Your reputation, clear, it will be negatively affect your reputation, your credit worthiness. So these are the disadvantage, that is it is quite expensive, means you have to pay high rate of interest on loan. તમે bridge loan લીધી હોય તો તમારે interest વધુ pay કરવું પડે. Second thing, that is bridging lenders are not flexible. Bridging lender means કે તમે late payment કરો તો you have to pay penalties, fine, clear, larger fees. So some kind which result in the borrower not able to repay the loan. Then here is fourth one, that if you not make payment on timely and regularly, then it will be create large amount, which larger amount, clear, borrower didn't make payment during the term loan. So it will be considered as a gathered compound interest, clear. So every month bridging loan isn't repaid for every month, clear. જ્યારે લાર્જ અમાઉન્ટ તમે રેગ્યુલર પે ના કરો તો ઇન્ટરેસ્ટ કેવું થઈ જશે, લાર્જર અમાઉન્ટ. સો યુ કેન નોટ એબલ ટુ મેક પેમેન્ટ, એન્ડ ઇફ યુ બીકમ ડિફોલ્ટર, regular interest pay ना करो, clear. And if you become defaulter, then you are definitely affect your credit worthiness, your reputation in the market. Your reputation will decrease. Your credit profile will degrade, clear. So your credit worthiness, it will affect negatively to the your credit worthiness and reputation in market. So today we have to complete two questions. First one, long-term sources and short-term sources, and uh, last one, that is second, sorry, not last one, second one, that is bridge finance, short note. So bridge finance, I again repeat, bridge finance means bridge loan or term loan to fulfill the gap, to cover the gap between ending of one loan, termination of one loan, and start of the another loan, clear. So bridge finance means bridge loan or short term loan. Short term means you have to requirement of money for 1 month, 2 month, 3 month, clear. So it is short term loan. You have to prepare advantage and disadvantage. So thank you all. If you have any doubts or query, then you can message me. Thank you.